Okay, so excited you guys are here today. Yay, yay, yay. So let's go around and I'll tell you a little bit about me. Sandy already kind of knows. But let's talk about, who you are, what brought you here. Tell us about you, and we'll start with Joel.
Okay, so my name is, as you can see on my name tag, is Joel, but you can call me Joe, but that's not my real name. I've been on Meetup for a very long time. And when Meetup first came out, I didn't know what it was all about. So I thought it was best not to register with my own name in case it turned out to be something a bit shady and my wife found out. So everybody kept saying, oh, that's really another name for hookup. And anyway, over the years, I've discovered it's not. I've met loads and loads of very nice people like yourselves. And I belong to over 120 meetups. Some of them I've only been to once, but some of them I go to every week. And I'm also Darwin. As you can see, there's a similarity to the screen below me. It says, try a short game of Darwin. Darwin is a brand new game that I invented. And it's a lot of fun to play. It's quick and easy to learn. And it helps children learn basic math skills and social skills. And nobody knows how to win it. I've played it with 3.5-year-olds and nuclear physicists, and there's no sure way of knowing who's going to win. So it's kind of fun.
You sound super creative, and that sounds super fun. Yay. Okay. Glad you're here. And are you a coach?
Not really, not professionally. I mean, I do coach younger people sometimes when I go into Zoom meetings, and I think there's some life experience that maybe no one shared with them, or maybe their parents did, but they didn't want to hear it from their parents. So I will sometimes stick my nose in, whether it's asked for or not, but generally not.
Okay. So we'll see, what you kind of take out of this, what applies, what doesn't. We'll kind of go from there. Sandy. Oh, and Rachel just joins. Let me admit her. Let's see. I think she's connecting in. So let me just wait for a second. Hey, Rachel.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm just leaving the dentist, so I'm gonna just listen. I'm driving.
Listen in, girl.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I hope your teeth cleaning went well. Okay, so Sandy, tell us a little about you.
Okay. My name is Sandy, yes, and I live out in New York City. I am a coach, actually, a performance consultant, but I will say coach for now. I've been, I started coaching 3 years ago to start implementing my personal stories that I had in the past to now put it into work because it was inner work that you had to do. So it was a lot of work, a lot of challenges, changes, going into the wilderness and going on a roller coaster ride through this journey. But I love I love doing this work because it's not only benefiting me, but it's helping others, impacting other people's lives. And what I talk about is now more than ever, I think people need help on connecting to their emotions and really building a relationship with their emotions and being more resilient than ever during these challenging times during this COVID. And I am a mental health advocate right now too. I even did that. I'm still doing that, even though I started that last year. I'm part of NAMI organization. I did, before the whole thing happened, I did go to Albany to spread the word that we should put more mental health education in schools. I got a chance to see some of the senators and our elected officials here in the city to interact with them, which was really great. So it gave me that opportunity to be out there and stand out a little bit more. So the reason why I'm here is just to hear about, I guess connect with other coaches and hear what's out there and how to build up more clientele in this day and age, because I feel like there's a lot of noise in here in the Facebook world and Instagram. Yes. Even when I just saw the movie Social Dilemma, I just said, I think I'm pulling out of Facebook and Instagram because that movie really, I don't know if anyone saw it. It's a Netflix documentary on all the stuff about what social media can do. And it's like when you type in the word, it already knows what you're looking for and it comes out. You're like, oh, got it. So.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Hey, Sehan.
Hi, Alia. How are you? I'm sorry
I'm
I had
good.
back-to-back meetings today. I just made it to your call.
I'm so excited you're here. Yay.
I'm finished up.
Yes, we're doing intros right now. Sandy just talked a little bit about her and like coaching and kind of the noise in, you know, the Facebook, Instagram world, and also Social Dilemma, the movie, which I want to see. I haven't seen yet, but I'm a little scared to watch it too. So yeah, Rachel, I know you're maybe in the car. Sehan, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you, you know, what brought you here, what you do, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. So, hi everyone. As you see, I'm in a different time zone. It is 7 p.m. It's 7:15 here. I'm in London. So I met Aliyah a couple years ago at an event. It was not about coaching, but then we had such great vibe. We stayed in touch. And back then I was working in technology, but was wanting to make a career move to into coaching. And me, myself, my company paid for executive coaching for 1.5 years. I work with a one-on-one coach, and I love the incredible results that we produce together. I realize how effective that is. And I've been joining seminars last 5-6 years, completing some certificate programs in coaching from different institutions. So currently I work with a executive coaching company in New York. Thanks to COVID, for me, it's great because I can have clients anywhere. You know, I don't have to miss clients that are in New York. So I can say, hey, let's jump on a Zoom and have the session. So I'm very new, but I was telling Aliyah, the more I do it, the more clients I get, the more interaction that I get with people I love, and I understand the power of it.
So good. So good. So amazing. Yay. Okay, welcome. Rachel, I don't know if you can talk. If not, just remain silent. If you can, you could just share a little bit about you.
Yes. Okay, so not much has changed since we chatted last. But just because of being home with my children, they did end up going back to school full time. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Rachel is a mom of 4, by the way.
So
Yeah.
my children did go back to school a couple weeks ago, so I've been starting to feel a little bit more inspired to focus on myself again. So I've been working a little bit, just trying to get all the kinks worked out as far as like technology goes, for having like a freebie and a Facebook group. And so my next step is really, and it's just either fear or whatever, but just starting to actually promote my business and putting it out into the world. So building that one-on-one, the one-to-one coaching. So that's where I stand. That's all that's in between me and launching the business.
Amazing. Yeah, I've worked with Rachel. She's so inspiring. Literally 4 kids. I mean, I have like a little baby and I'm already like, how do I run my business and like, you know, the baby and all of it. So yes. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me once we start the kind of talk, but what we're going to do is I have like a presentation prepared about more authentic sales, right? Like feeling good and genuine and you on your sales calls. So I'm going to give that. I ran it through and it's probably about 20 minutes. So it's super valuable. I'm like really excited to share it with you guys. So what I would suggest is getting out paper and a pen, you know, turning off whatever distractions you may have, closing down your Facebook messages, and, you know, your phone, whatever is going on, and kind of getting into the zone so we can dive into this and you can get a lot of value out of it. So let me see how I screen share here. let's see here. How do I screen share? Okay, screen share. Okay, share. And can you guys see this? Yes, people are nodding. Yes, okay. Let me see how I just do one slide at a time. Do we do play, file, does anyone, slideshow play from start? Okay. Okay, cool. Oh yes, I love the thumbs up. Amazing. Okay, so this call is called Authentic Transformative Sales Calls, the how. And my goal is to support you in redefining sales in a way that lovingly serves you and your prospect. So as coaches, we know the value of creating like a container of support and love and all of that. But we know, like, typically elsewhere in the world, sales and love aren't usually maybe connected. But my goal is to kind of show you how you can really be genuine and authentic to you and let go of any force that, or like feeling of like sleaziness that may come with sales when it comes to your coaching. Okay. So, okay, so this is me. I had the same photo last time. Sorry, I didn't change it.
Beautiful.
So,
You look beautiful.
thank you, thank you. Okay, so I got into coaching about 5 years ago. I'm a former social worker. Let's see, I think I shared this with you guys, not to get too deep, but we're all coaches, so why not? I basically had a death in my family of my sister, and it was, you know, unexpected and incredibly difficult, obviously. And it made me realize that YOLO, you know, you really only live once. And I wanted to, you know, kind of start my own thing, have that freedom, and kind of what Sandy said, like, people need coaching, you know, people really need this work. So I wanted to kind of watch myself kind of step into my potential and help others do the same. So that's when I found coaching, I was like, this is the most incredible way of creating transformation for people. I myself had a coach. I couldn't believe how much I shifted. I mean, I'm telling you guys, a few years ago, if you were like, you'll be like running a presentation, I'd be like, no, I won't, you know? So it's done so much for me, and I'm sure it's done the same for you. And that's kind of what got me into it. Okay. So this is my my husband and my 4-month-old Violet. She's actually going to be 5 soon. She's my little cutie pie. She just started laughing. It's like insanely adorable. Sandy gives a little high five. Okay. So let's kind of dive in. So tell me, for you guys, right? What comes to mind when you think sales? I found this super goofy photo. When you think sales, right? Like selling your coaching, shout out some like words that come to mind for you.
Nurturing relationships, like, you know.
Nurturing relationships.
I was going to say something similar. Building relationships.
Building relationships. Yes. Okay. You guys are totally like in the right spot. Building relationships, nurturing relationships. Anything else that comes up when you think sales, sales calls, anything?
Actively listening to the pain points.
Yes. Yes. Actively listening to the pain points. Amazing. Okay. You guys are ahead of the game. So, okay.
And
So
I'll be quiet.
yeah, don't tell us everything you already know. So, okay, what I want you to do is kind of let go of anything that may not be serving you when it comes to thinking about sales, right? So, like in this group, it seems like we know sales is nurturing relationships, sales is building relationships, right? But a lot of times what I know my clients experience or come to me with is this feeling of like, when I'm on these calls, it feels like icky or it doesn't feel good. It looks like someone else is, oh, someone chatted. Imposter syndrome, said Sandy. Exactly. A feeling of like, wait a second, who am I to be, you know, asking you to be a part of this, right? And I definitely experienced that, and it totally held me back from like going full throttle, which sucked. So right now, kind of just like letting go of any of that that's coming up, right? Because we're gonna redefine sales. Um, so sales for our purposes of our call, right, is our ability to both feel love and offer someone else love too. Okay. May sound a little cheesy, but feel me on this, right? Sales is about love. Okay. So at this point, right, you maybe have a transformational coaching package or program that you really deeply believe in, right? You know that the work you do can support someone else tremendously. Um, so for sales, right, we're kind of letting go of any agenda, right? Any attachment that we may have of this person needs to say yes or it needs to go like this, right? Letting go of that force. We're, as I think Sandy said, right, stepping into deep, deep listening. What is going on for this person on the call, right? Why did they come to the call? We're getting curious about their perspective and their worldview as it is right now and what it is that they want to move into, right? How are they seeing things and what kind of shift do they want? We're creating space for another person and ultimately we're providing hope. We're providing hope. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. So, what takes us out of our inner knowing when it comes to sales? And I'm just going to pause for you guys. Like, have you ever been on a call? Like, I for sure have during some of my sales calls where I'm just like, what is happening on this call? Like, I'm in this place of not feeling good. Has anyone experienced that on during a sales call and like what's kind of come up there for you?
Okay, I'll go. I thought someone else
Thanks,
wanted to
Sandy.
go.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Well, I know when I was doing a sales call, someone tried to sell me their stuff and everything, and it was like, but wait a minute, what are you doing? Like, hold up, what is the purpose or anything like that? Because the thing is, I was just doing a warm, connections with them, having the talk about where they are and everything else and so forth. But in the end, they wanted me to sign up for an MLM program. And I was like, oh man, why did this have to happen to me? I'm nothing
Yes.
against those network marketing groups. You know what? They probably are terrific. It's not in my interest. It's just that why are you trying to sell me something that I don't, that necessary? Like he didn't even listen to what my pain points were, but I was trying to give him his pain points. And I told him right off the back, like, you want to make sure that you're actively listening to the person that you're selling to, because at the end, I do not need this. And now you probably are mad or something, or don't want to engage with me anymore because I accepted a reality to you. I gave you truth. I don't need something like this. I was just showing you how to nurture relationships, but you went ahead and just did a money motivation thing to me. So that's what happens to me on a sales call. Like that was my inner knowing what he did. Like I caught on, but I was not afraid to tell him about his reality and what he did or anything like that. So.
Wow. Yeah. So you were on this call and he started trying to offer you into something. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's an experience. Has anyone else experienced anything like that?
I get invited to a lot of introductions and sales calls and things like that. And I'm so old, I don't need anything except to breathe in and breathe out. Forget that and nothing else matters. So it's a bit awkward sometimes because I don't like to refuse people. But I know that what they have, they don't need. So I try to make it clear to them. They sometimes present it as let's have a get to know each other Zoom meeting or something like that. And I don't mind. I actually really do love meeting people, and especially younger people, because old people are cranky and crotchety. And I know because I'm one. and but I don't want to take up their time when I know they're LFB. Do you use that expression in the United States? Do you know what LFB is?
Sandy does.
Looking for business.
Oh.
So they're LFB, and I'm not LFB. I mean, if somebody wants to get involved with a game, if they have grandchildren and so on, or children, and they want them to learn math, they want a game, that's fine. I'm happy to get them involved with Darwin or anything else I might know about. But it's awkward for me. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for a call by a very, very nice lady. Her name is Sandy as well, but her last name is Sandy. Her first name is Rochelle. And she goes to a meetup group that I belong to. And I've just done a presentation with her with a few other people. And I really like her. I mean, she was 100% reliable. She said, we're going to show up at 9 o'clock. She was there at 9 o'clock. Other people who asked for the 9 o'clock timetable came later, didn't show up at all. So like I had nothing much to do with her other than seeing her as a face on the screen until we had to do this joint presentation. And my respect for her just went up 1,000%. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I just didn't know her. And and I would be very happy to get to know her better, but she's an investment advisor. And I know that it's going to take up time for her, that I have no need for an investment advisor. I wish I did. If one of you will leave me enough money, then I'll need an investment advisor. But
so you might not have actually needed what she was sharing in a way.
That's right. But I'm happy to know her, because I never know when I run into someone who might need an investment advisor.
And I think that totally goes to speaking to what was brought up in the beginning, right? Like building those relationships and knowing someone who does the thing that you might need, or you could refer someone to her for sure. These are so good. And I'm going to kind of share like some things that may take us out of our inner knowing a little bit, whether or not you guys have experienced on your calls, right? So these are kind of the things at least I've been through in the past, or have told to me, like the clients feel at times, which is need, right? So if we're kind of growing our own business and we have this like need, we want to support the client, but we also are like, wait, I need the money, or my bank account, like I really need this client. Or if we have a need, right, of I want to tell you everything that's amazing about this program, and I'm so passionate about it, and you're gonna love it, right? Our own kind of like passion and talking can take us out of a space of really listening to what it is the client is saying and what's behind their words, right? Also, this idea of doubt, right? If someone gets on a call with us and we're like, wait a second, they're so smart, they seem to like know it all, like why do they want to work with me? Or you know what, I don't think they're going to be able to pay the price of my program, like it's too high, I'm gonna shift it down or lower it. Or you know what, maybe I'm offering too low. Is my program even like worth it, right? So getting into that space of doubt on the call. And the last one is like, let's call a spade, fear. Sometimes fear does come up from both parties on the call, and it can really take us out of like what we know is true about, what we're able to provide for people. So, okay. So does that make sense, guys? Has anyone kind of experienced that? Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm going to keep kind of zooming through this because I want us to get through. But ultimately, without our inner knowing, we lose the ability to serve, right? Without our inner knowing on the call, without being that like intuitive, in touch person that we are, which is the reason we coach in the first place, right? We can't serve because, and this is mindset shift number one, selling is serving. Selling is serving. So ultimately, right, on our calls, what we're doing is the same thing we do with our clients. We're literally just supporting them in figuring out what is right for them, right? So I don't know about you, but like, again, hi, this girl in a cornfield, like that helps me let go so much of all the like gross stuff when it comes to sales, because we're literally just creating a container to support this person. So how do we kind of do that, right? How do we like get into a different space in order to, oh, Joel's getting a drink. Joel's getting a little drink. Perfect, Joel. Take a moment. Okay. So how do we get into that space where we're really tuning into what we know is the truth of who we are, the confidence we have in our program, all of that kind of stuff, embracing the 3 C's, okay? Which is, I don't know if you guys can see this little lady right here. Calmness, confidence, and curiosity. So in order to kind of get past like what I call the inner knowing blockages that prevent us from really showing up as ourselves and someone who's looking to give and serve on the call, it's important to embrace that calmness of I'm detached from the outcome here. I am in this calm space where I'm confident in my program, right? And I'm curious about whether or not this is a match for this person. So, okay, I have like a few more things, but let me just kind of check in with you guys on how all of this is, sounding to you guys right now. Like what's coming up for anyone around this?
I mean, the inner knowing, now I get it, it's true, because I do fear some calls. Like I'll get someone like him to tell me that they want to try to sell me something. And when I was like, no, this is something totally different. So yes, mine was the fear,
Yes.
and of course, the need, because it's towards the end of the year, I just wanted to make my quota for the end of the year and stuff, and just like get my 10 people on to do this program that I'm doing. So the minds were need and fear. Doubt wasn't, I think I'm clearing that out. But the 2 I'm working on. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing this, because I think we all kind of experience these things. So it sounds like you connected to like need and fear, which again makes sense. And how, if at all, does it come into play on your calls?
Well, right now, what's happening with me is because I thought I had to get like, all of a sudden I started panicking and stuff like I've started to panic a little bit here and there. And then I was like, do I need to get a lead generation or get a lead generation expert to help me to get some leads? And I just want to inquire that when it comes to, picking up these clients, make sure that, like I said in the beginning, that I can nurture them and build them. Like some of these are cold contacts, because now that we're in the pandemic, where can I get clients now? It's challenging right now for me. That's just me. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, it's just been a whirlwind. And I do talk to others, but right now, yeah, I do freeze up a little bit on calling people sometimes. So that's
Totally.
being open about it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that makes a lot of sense. Totally. Does anyone else have anything like similar to what Sandy shared, or anything coming up around this?
I really like the 3 C's, especially the curiosity. Now I am thinking of examples in my sales calls, or I join to networking events, just to get to know people. And I do not approach them, hey, I'm a coach, would you consider taking coaching? Not in that sense. Then it turns into what Joel was saying earlier. You come off as someone looking for business. It's not authentic. So what I discovered myself, the more I do sales calls or meetings with people, you have to meet people where they are. Like, we have, of course, a service that we can clearly see it's going to benefit them, but they might not be ready, and it's okay. And it's okay to let go that particular person because of their interaction with you, they become referral. So that happened to me. I was speaking with an old connection. Is a French guy that we went skiing together with a big group, and he emailed me on LinkedIn. He said, well, I saw that you are into coaching, let's talk. And then I told him this is what I do. And then he's like, oh, my company cannot pay now. And then I didn't, say, oh, okay, then good luck. I said, okay, that's okay. Like whenever you want, I'm here. And then 2 months later, he referred me a friend. And then I'm coaching his friend now. So it's so important to make sales not about selling our service, but really build, and like Sandy says, nurturing those relationships. Every interaction is actually a relationship. Like it doesn't have to happen immediately. And in that call, we can talk to these people 5 more times. They might still not buy our services, but it is a possibility.
Yes. I love that. So true. And I think like you do never know when you put the energy out where it's going to come back from, right? Like it wasn't directly that guy, but like you kind of like planted the seed in a way and it came to you in a different way and kind of was a win-win for everyone. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. We're going to do like, it's like 2 more mindset shifts. So you guys with me? Woo. Okay. So basically, right, like when we're thinking about this, I love the thumbs up. It makes me feel good. Like when I know you're with me, you're here. Okay. So when we're kind of thinking about, having someone sign up with us, right? We're knowing that we have a solution to whatever their kind of problem is, right? Our coaching provides them a solution, right? Because people tend to move forward because they're feeling some sort of pain. And I know maybe for your service, it may not feel, it may be like pain, like my person's not in like pain, but like these things are painful, right? Whether it's like they want to maybe lose weight or start dating or, attract clients, whatever that thing is, if they're in a place where that's not happening, they're really in this space of not feeling good. So ultimately, like our program is giving them kind of that solution. And we all know it's, if it is coaching, we're really helping them kind of excavate their own solution in a way. So, okay, I found a picture of this girl basically sharing that when people come to our calls, they're both excited about the prospect of being like, yay, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to work with you. We're going to have all this transformation. And they're freaking nervous. They are so nervous. I actually just enrolled a client into a program I'm going to run in November, which I'm going to share with you guys. But she literally told me, she's like, I'm so excited. She's like, and I'm so nervous. And those are the 2 emotions I hear most on sales calls, because you're going to come with that nervousness from your current self that hasn't yet experienced what's possible in your future self. So I kind of like to think of it as your clients coming onto the call and they're somewhere in between these 2, right? They're somewhere in between their current self and their future self. They want to believe in the possibility of what's available to them, but they also haven't experienced it yet, right? Their past doesn't show them that the possibility of the transformation they want to create, again, losing weight, building a business, whatever, is available to them. So they're somewhere in between there. So on the call, how it may manifest, right, is objections. I don't have time to do this. Let me look at my bank account. Actually, this same person said both of those things to me and then signed up, because we realized it wasn't really about any of those things. It was about the fact that she was in this current self of not knowing whether or not her results that she wanted from my program were available to her. So it's really our job to kind of help that person create the hope of what's available to them in the future. So when they get onto the call, really seeing them as like a whole, amazing, confident, beautiful person that's so capable of creating shifts for themselves, right? Like really believing in the possibility for this person to create that shift and letting them know that, right? Having that hope for them. So that's mindset shift number 3, is being able to step into that true belief and confidence in your program, and belief if it is indeed right. You have to be honest about, like, is this prospect right for my program? But that belief that your prospect is capable of creating that shift and change. Oh, this is just a little thing I found. Have you guys heard of the book To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink? Yes, I highly recommend it. I mean, the title says everything. To sell is human. How freeing. But I found this quote. This is what it means to serve, improving another's life, and in turn, improving the world. So I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see what else. Yeah. And let's see, stop share. So tell me what's coming up for anyone around this, and we can kind of go into like a little discussion or some of the things you have questions on, literally whatever like brought you to this call.
Ways to attract clients, worthy clients, valuable clients. That's what your title attracted me. Authentic sales calls and attracting the right type of clients that, are willing to take to the next step. Like this is why I came on, just to hear who are my change makers, who are willing to take on that path, on that journey with me on a 12-week program that I'm doing before 2021 hits, so that's why.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm just going to share, and then anyone can kind of dive in. Ultimately, you want, when people get onto that call, right, for them to have a sense of what you do, for the intention of the call to be kind of set, so they know this is us deciding whether or not like you're a good fit for this program, right? So ideally, your kind of marketing or the way you're nurturing relationships and all of that is giving so much kind of like value that by the time they get on this call, it's an easier yes, because they already know kind of like what you do, how you help, how you support, how you serve. But I want to make sure, did I answer your question?
You did. Yes, you did. Yes, that helped.
Okay. Okay, cool. Anyone else, feel free to dive in.
I don't know. I think maybe I would like to hear discoveries you guys made in your sales calls or interacting with new people. Is there anything you had like aha moment? You are like, wow, like I discovered something. This is the way of being that works.
Seyhan, you're saying like what kind of things can
like
you
a success story, like you were not thinking it would go that way, but then you did something in that call or in that meeting, and then like you were saying earlier, this person told you they don't have time, they don't have money, but you signed them. So like what was the shift that you applied?
Oh, yes. Okay, great question. So like for that slide, when I said some of the objections come up, and they're typically, I mean, I need to talk to my husband. I don't have time, I don't have money, right? So it's kind of knowing that those things, again, are part of what their belief is. And it's kind of that immediate nervousness of like, oh my God, what if that possibility really was available to me? It's like scary, right? So what I kind of did is really offered her an opportunity to explore the validity of those things, right? So when this person got onto the call, we already knew that for this program, she was a total match. She's looking to grow her client base quickly. She wants to, kind of expand her business. She wants a small, positive, like group of, amazing people. There were so many things that were like a right fit for her. but she was like, I don't know if I have the time. I don't know if I have like the, the money, whatever. So we kind of explored like, you know, when would you have the time? Like what makes this time different from another kind of time? Right? And also questions like, okay, if that money doesn't get spent on this, where else might it get spent? Right. So we're kind of like excavating what this really is all about, because it is, in a sense, coaching. We're literally like questioning, wait a second, like I'm hearing this, but I also hear that this is exactly what you want. So, like, paint me a picture of the disconnect just so I'm clear. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's great. Perfect. It's
Yeah.
the like power of constructing the right questions. That's what I get from what you say.
Yes.
Instead of like taking, as she said, oh, you don't have money. Okay, not like that, but like you develop like powerful questions to get to the bottom of whatever is the excuse, not the money.
Totally, totally. And I make sure I like invite them, if it's okay, to explore that, and that's, I think, another thing where it can feel icky if you're just like, well, what about this, So just saying like, listen, like I'm a coach, coaching's what I do. Would it be okay if we just kind of explored that? Like, no pressure. Let's figure this thing out, right? Because I'm hearing you're really interested in this, but I'm hearing the timing isn't right. Like, let's talk, right? So getting real.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Anything else? Rachel, are you still hanging in?
I am still here, listening in.
Amazing. Anything coming up for you? I know we've talked about this, you and I, before.
Not really. I mean, I'm at the point now where I kind of know what I need to do. Is just stepping into doing it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What would help you step into doing it?
For me, it's just the time, trying to get, finding the time to do it, and really just putting it out there that I'm open for business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember your 2 little ebooks I have. I want to reread those on, the 10 ways to sell, and just kind of get clear on that again. And like I said, just kind of putting it out there and actually getting started. Yeah.
Rachel, I know a lot about Rachel, but she has so much value to give. And I think the second you dive in, you're going to have so many people saying yes.
And it's funny because at first I was like mad about COVID, obviously, because back in March, I was just finishing up the podcast course and I had recorded a couple episodes, and then I really just had to take a step back and realize that my family comes first, my kids and homeschooling and things like that. And I was getting like really resentful because I didn't have the time to do what I needed to do. And that's when I decided to just put it on hold. But it actually has really done me a lot of good, because I've shifted in some things that I feel like I could coach on and that I want to focus on. And as far as like my ideal client and things like that, I feel I've been able to shift a little bit. So it actually kind of worked out for the best, I think. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been good.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome. So we only have a couple minutes left. I wanted to let you guys know, I think some of you know, I'm not sure, but I have this program, Business Breakthrough Jumpstart, that's starting at the end of November. So it's for creating clients. It's going to be a small group, probably about 5 people or so. If you're interested in that, let me know and I'll send you a little invitation. It has like everything on it. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be this, but like next level. So I'm pumped about it. So if you're really looking to grow things, DM me and let's talk. or message me through however you found this. And yeah, next month's call. What else do you got? What we talked about? We did authentic client attraction last time. We're doing sales this time. What, if anything, would be helpful to you guys on the next call that we do? And I have some ideas too.
I guess the landing page, maybe.
Oh,
I guess the wording. Yeah, like what's the tagline? What will get the clients to convert? Like when they go into your landing page, how do you get them to convert? You know, they like your picture. If I post something on Pinterest, they click on it and they don't convert. It's like, what's wrong? What happened? What did I say? You know?
yes. Messaging, like messaging that converts.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yes.
If anybody wants, I'm just putting it out there.
I love it. That's a
I
perfect
love
one.
it. That'd be perfect.
Yes,
Yes.
messaging that converts. There's so much to that. Rachel does have these ebooks that I have. So I can get that over to you guys too, since you joined the call. Yeah.
I think for me, when you asked this question, first thing came to my mind was I've been thinking a lot about this recently, measuring my success. Because in the beginning of my program, we set specific breakthrough results. And then at the end of the program, we look, okay, did you achieve these goals? But then sometimes, even if they didn't achieve these particular goals, I know they are transforming. And I was like, I hope I had a way to show them that they are transforming. So I'm so curious how you are guys dealing with showing your results to the client. Does it make sense?
Oh, like how the client knows that they are in fact successful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So like sometimes it translates into achieving those goals, right? Let's say, hey, I want to find a boyfriend. And then you work with them and they find a boyfriend. But then sometimes, even if they don't find a boyfriend, they discover a lot of great things that takes them to like create a shift for them. So it doesn't mean you didn't succeed. So like I question that, like what practices are you using? Do you give them a questionnaire, or like how do you measure the whole like effectiveness of our services?
Does anyone want to speak to that?
I know one girl. It's funny that you talked about it. I wasn't helping her in relationships. I was just helping her with her personal development. I was just helping her how to self-love, how to take care of herself, because she's 32 years old, trying to figure out what life has to offer. And her main concern was relationship. And I told her I'm not a relationship expert, but she actually was still working with me anyway. She didn't want to leave. She's like, no, I'm learning so much. Mind you, she went ahead and downloaded that Hinge app, one of those dating apps, whatever. And long and behold, she found someone she could connect with that she followed all the values that she had, the boundaries and everything else. And 2 months into the, getting to know, she's engaged. And so now she's telling people I'm a relationship expert, and I tell her no.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So how do you, because to me, I'm like, and you know what? That's the thing too, Aaliyah. Maybe there's something I need to work on. I don't know. Maybe that I keep saying I'm not a relationship. I'm just someone I'm a people developer. I'm just helping people know their values and their boundaries and understanding what matters to them the most, like what is out there, instead of, because there's so much approval addictions out there because of social media. We're so in tune with, I want people to like me. And I taught her to trade her expectations for appreciation for herself. And since she's, so now she puts on my comment that she's also a relationship expert. And I'm like, no. So I don't know.
Wow. And you know what, Sandy? I mean, that's so interesting and we can discuss, but it may be that even though you didn't set the intention or kind of market yourself as like a relationship expert, because of the fact that you're helping people set boundaries, have appreciation, all this kind of stuff, connect to their values, that may be one of the results that people see. So there might be a way for us to, look at your messaging in order to figure out, like, this could be a potential result for people, and that would actually make a lot of sense. Relationship expert.
I know she put it on a testimonial, and I was like, I don't know if I want to put it on my website, but I let it be.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's a lot to that, and there's ways to kind of like ask questions that will help someone dive into what sort of results did I get, even if it isn't what I kind of came for. I have a whole kind of template on how to do that, because that can, add to your testimonials, help other people decide whether or not they want to work with you, and help the client figure out what they really achieved. So, okay, well, it's 4. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I will DM me if you want more information on the program. Otherwise, we're going to have our next call at the end of next month. And I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so great to meet everyone.
I have your email address. I'll email you, okay?
Perfect.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Take
You
care.
Best
too.
of luck to everyone.
Just
Bye.
before
Okay,
we
you
go,
too.
we go, can I ask Rachel how old her kids are?
My oldest is 11. My middle is 8, and then I have 4-year-old twins.
4-year-old twins. Okay. I have a game that all 5 of your kids can play together. And I'm not sure, I mean, are the twins boys or girls?
One of each, boy, girl.
One of each. Okay. So kids at that age, girls develop faster than boys typically at that age.
Yes.
So the 4-year-old twin girl